A pitcher's duel last night changed dramatically in a record-setting 7 for the Nats. Jayson Werth began the onslaught with his 200th career home run. 3 teammates followed suit, including the second grand slam in a week for the league MVP. Tonight's story stars Joe Ross, ready to build on 2 great starts and shut down the Marlins again. Did we have enough fun at Marlins Park in the 7th inning last night? Who knows what'll happen tonight, the Nats and the Fish. And the word's out, kids. Get to the ballpark. You never know what Bryce might do next, and he had plenty of support to get to the point of that grand slam last night. Maybe the craziest inning you and I have ever seen for this ball club.
Yeah, it took 7th inning stretch to a whole new level. 4 taters. It was awesome.
And Jayson Werth always making some history, it seems, here and there. We go back to early in his career. 2003, he's a Blue Jay. He's at Texas. He hits one opposite field. First career home run, wraps it around the pole. 10 years later, he's a Nat and still hitting very important long balls.
Oh, it was good. It was had a nice little rain delay. You know, I got a little massage, changed clothes, had a chicken salad, and then tied it up. It was well written.
And then charged out of the clubhouse and did this, about a 12-pitch at-bat that he deposits in the left center field bleachers to tie the ball game. So Jayson Werth has had some epic home runs. And what about this one? Wait, was this a big one? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was October.
Game 4, October, keeps the Nats alive to go to Game 5. I've never heard the ballpark louder. I'm getting goosebumps watching it again. The place was shaking. And then his 1,000th hit. Let's check in with a tater, August 10th, 2013. So you want to mark your 1,000th hit on a big occasion? Make it a homer. And then last night, he gave us all goosebumps. Just a laser beam out of here. His 200th home run. Got out of here in an instant. One of the more pure swings we've ever seen from him. And yes, folks, they found his baseball. Everybody looking for it. The search began. They looked in the artwork, and they eventually got it to Jayson Werth. So congratulations, he's given us a lot of thrills with some huge home runs throughout his career.
Juxtaposition of baseball and art, it doesn't get any better than that. So some of the things Jayson has done over his big league career as a Blue Jay, Dodger, Philly, and now a Nat. A couple of other guys have careers still pretty much in front of them. Both #1 draft picks. Steven Strasburg is unbeaten. I like the number 3 for him, and Bryce is batting .333. But first, the fireballing right-hander.
Yeah, if these guys keep working hard, they're going to be good someday. And both of them obviously being sarcastic. But Steven Strasburg last night, unbelievable. The 4 pitches, everybody talking about the slider, pounding the strike zone with the fastball. 8 shutout innings, the awkward hug from Dusty Baker that we're all becoming accustomed to. And then this guy, Bryce Harper, the movie, continues. Bases loaded, his 2nd grand slam of the season, his 2nd career grand slam. Got everybody fired up. 4 home runs in the inning. Bryce Harper just keeps doing things you just have to shake your head at.
Yeah, take it easy, Max. You're pitching tomorrow. Strasburg has won his first 3 starts, keeping it in the yard. Great ERA. Bryce is not keeping it in the yard. 9 for his last 21, 5 homers, 15 RBIs. He's been crazy good. Now Joe Ross is pitching tonight, and against the Phillies on Friday, he was great at a hitter's ballpark. Right now, playing and pitching very well. 104 career ERA, by the way, against the Marlins. Marlins here in Miami, Marlins Park. Small crowd. Nats will have to create some of their own atmosphere here this evening. Steven Strasburg, great last night. Joe Ross tonight and Max Scherzer tomorrow. This could be a very profitable series. And 10 days ago, Joe was really good against the Marlins, FP. 1 run, 5 hits, 7 innings.
Well, I mean, the words fearless, composure, and when you talk about 22-year-old Joe Ross, mature beyond his years, not rattled by any situation, pounds the strike zone. You look at the opponent's average, 214 in his career. So right-handers really struggle with Joe Ross. That's why Don Mattingly has thrown all his lefties in there tonight. JT Realmuto, the only righty.
And then there's 25-year-old, we go to 30-year-old Wei-Yin Chen, and as recently as 2 years ago, 16-game winner for the Orioles, and he got a big contract here.
Yeah, that could vest up to $96 million in the 6th year of the contract, so we'll see how that goes. Sneaky fast, that fastball will rush he likes to throw into right-handers.
Career record of 46 and 32, 1-3 against the Nats. So getting everything ready here at the ballpark. The fish are here, so's Dusty. Murphy is hot. Strasburg and Harper, the stars of this series so far. Ball on Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. By T-Mobile, get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. And by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. We've enjoyed our visit to Miami last couple of days. Gorgeous scenic. Laser home run by Jayson Werth last night. Hopefully that'll really loosen him up. Ryan Zimmerman told me today it was good to get on the board with a blast the other way. And Ryan, now 26 of his 201 career home runs against the Marlins. So in this series, Giancarlo Stanton and Ryan Zimmerman have hit home runs here that would have been doubles last year. So the difference in the ballpark is making a bit of a difference. And here's Wei-Yin Chen.
And see the arsenal for the left-hander. Fastball 89-90, slider, curveball, changeup to complement it. No decision his last start on the 16th against the Braves. Went 6 1/3, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, 83 pitches, 54 of those for strikes.
Yeah, 4 years ago since he signed with the Orioles, and now he's a Marlin.
So he's standing on that rubber. He likes to throw into right-handers, and when you talk to the Nats hitters after they faced him in Baltimore last year, they said he's sneaky fast.
Taylor goes up swinging, first pitch of the game, right on time at 7:10. Michaels had a good series suddenly, 3 for 9, a base on balls, 2 runs, a couple of extra base hits. Hunter Wendelstedt behind the plate tonight. Crew chief Jerry Lane hurt. He's not here tonight. So Nick Lentz, Scott Berry, and Trip Gibson around the bases. There's the young umpire, Nick Lentz. 90. Foul tip.
It's just kind of the slow wind up, and then all of a sudden the arm is quick and the ball gets on you. And it took the Nats a couple times through the order to figure him out in Baltimore last time they faced him.
Fastball up for the strikeout.
So the defense for the Marlins behind Chen tonight. Yelich, Ichiro Stanton, the outfield. That's Varia Dietrich, left side. Gordon Bohr, right side. And JT Realmuto behind the plate. So a lot of lefties in the lineup for Don Mattingly tonight, except for that guy, the only right-hander.
You might be able to hear Anthony Rendon digging in. We've got some
and that
amazing microphones here.
And that guy Stanton. I just don't count him because he's just, you know.
Otherworldly. Yeah. Anthony, couple of hits in the series. 2 for 8, 2 walks. And against Chen, career 1 for 3. Ball that's out, says Wendell Stett in his 19th year. Anthony 14 for 52.
You might hear a lot of things tonight.
Yeah, not many here. Heat playing, NHL Panthers playing. Marlins are not televising tonight. Roof closed. They could have left the roof open a couple of times during this series. It's been delightful weather here. And Anthony Rendon will take a 4-pitch walk in front of Bryce Harper. First time in franchise history, the Nats went back-to-back twice in the same inning. Daniel Murphy, over his 11-game hitting streak, Murph is 17 for 38. And Bryce Harper with runners in scoring position. Where have I ever seen a number like that before? I haven't. 2.692 on base percentage plus slugging. Anything in the 800, 900 area is considered pretty good. He's gone 3 times that. Chen looking in, thought he had a strike.
Said he actually tried to hit that home run last night after the game. I mean, it was in the air, right? Why not?
Second career grand slam in a week. He's now 4 RBIs ahead of Nolan Arenado for the major league lead going into this one. Against the left-handed pitcher, the Marlins are with their left-handed pitcher. Against Bryce, they don't play much of a shift here. Runner at first influences that. And a good base running play by Anthony Rendon. Bryce locked in. That was a laser to D. Gordon, 2 outs.
I want to know the hit speed on that. That ball was laced. I mean, just locked in. You're thinking he's going to hit a home run every time up. That's how dominant he's been. That's how locked in he's been. Good base running by Anthony Rendon, getting back to extend the inning to Ryan Zimmerman. But Bryce Harper, I mean, who's hitting the ball harder than he is on a consistent basis in baseball right now?
Nobody. Hey, rookie umpire, major league debut. He just made his first call. Congratulations, Nick Lentz.
He should retire now. He's hitting 1,000.
He's 1,000. There was no challenge.
Yeah, no challenge. You got it right. Just jog in the dugout and shut it down.
Welcome to the major leagues, Nick Lentz. Here's Ryan Zimmerman. 1 for 8 with that solo home run last night. 10 for 39. 3 career hits and an RBI against Chen. A lot of hitting room right side. Red hot hitter on deck. And they play Ryan pretty straight away in the outfield. Ichiro's in center tonight. And he got a gift after the game was over last night. Remember that play over to third base in the 9th inning when Anthony Rendon had to range to his left and in. Called it an error initially, did the Marlins official score, and then they wiped it off and gave Ichiro his 5th hit of the year.
And then fired the official score.
He's 60 away from 3,000. Zimmerman waits for an off-speed pitch to the gap. They're going to have to cut it off to have a chance to get Rendon. They do. Here he comes. Bob Henley on the send. He is safe. Zimmerman to third, and he is out. So Ryan Zimmerman drives in his 4th run of the year with a double, thrown out at third, and the Nats with some action here in the top of the first, a 1-0 lead. Waiting for a moment at the dugout to challenge or not.
Well, I'm just going to say there goes the no-hitter before we go to break and get that in.
Zimmerman, a couple of RBIs in this series now. That was a great swing. Here puts the Nationals on top. Here come the Marlins. They've been a good hitting ball club against the Nats. Their batting average 3rd highest in the National League overall. So Ichiro got that hit after the game was over last night, 60 to get to 3,000. He's in the number 2 spot tonight, and he's 5 for 11 with an RBI. And here comes Joe Ross, 1-0 with a 1.04 ERA. 3 career games against Miami.
6'4", 205 out of Oakland, California. Last start on the 15th against Philly. You're in the 9-1 win. 7 2/3 shutout from Joe Ross. Gave up just 3 hits. 107 pitches in that one. Fastballs averaging 93. Slider change to go with it.
This is his first career start in this ballpark. And D. Gordon is 2 for 3 with a triple against him career.
Tell you what, Ryan Zimmerman went to third on that because he thought there might be a play at the plate with Rendon. He was trying to draw that throw.
Well, the Marlins cut it off, got a runner at third, but the Nats have the lead, and when they score first this season, they are 6-0. Dusty working on the first toothpick of the night.
Yep.
1-1 to Gordon. Joe Ross pretty much hit the target. Got a little bit of the plate, and D. Gordon, just a good line drive hitter. Strike 2.
Joe had success with D last time they faced on the high fastball. He got him to chase some up around the letters and got him to pop up.
He shakes to whatever's coming. Fastball up, base hit. Here we go. I know you were so impressed, FP, with the way Joe Ross handled himself last week when D. Gordon got on base. So here comes round 2 on that matchup.
And talking about running the bases, you see the play right here. Ryan going shopping in the gap. That scores Rendon from first. But if you're the trail base runner and you think there's going to be a play at the plate, you know, they say never make the third out at third, but it's okay when you want to draw a throw because you think it's going to be close to the plate, or when you see the ball over the cutoff man. So that's an aggressive mistake. And as everybody knows that watches the Nats at all, Ryan Zimmerman probably their best base runner.
And I'm sure Dusty had no problem with that. So here's Ichiro, who can move the ball around to any quadrant of the field he wants to, it seems. He's 1 for 1 career against Joe Ross. And by the way, that was only D. Gordon's second hit in 8 at-bats in this series. Ichiro 1 for 2 against the Nats here. So here come the throws, and it was a story of the hold 10 days ago. He frustrated D. Gordon into a caught stealing in the 6th inning of a 4-2 game, and the game was a lot tighter at that time. It was a 1-1 ball game.
Well, it was the turning point of the game. All the holds, the throwovers, the quick deliveries to the plate, still delivering strikes to the plate. But I mean, for a 22-year-old, it's advanced stuff. He's trying to keep D. Gordon there, one more pitch to get Ichiro to hit the ball on the ground. He's trying to give Wilson Ramos a chance to throw him out, so he's thrown over 3 times now, but he's very quick to the plate on top of that.
Gordon inching off, he's holding.
Let's set the defense for the Nats behind Joe Ross. Worth, Taylor, Harper the outfield, Espinoza, Rendon left side of the infield, Murphy, Zimmerman right side, and Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
And thanks to that call change after the ball game last night, the Nationals still have the fewest errors in the National League, along with the Mets, just 4.
Well, it was a hit. I mean,
I agree. You and I thought it was.
They got it right. This guy's chasing 3,000. I mean, anything close is a hit for him. He's earned it.
The hold, and the runner stays. Rendon, Murphy across the bag, and Ichiro is out at first on a 5-4-3.
Was Zimmerman on first? I see the coaches for the Marlins running to the phone right now. Hold on. I mean, he was cheating to get the call. He knows that Ichiro still could run. It wasn't hit that hard. Tim Wallach on the phone in the Marlins dugout. Let's take a look at it together. Good feed by Rendon. He's playing in, so he gets it quick. Murphy on the run, and was Ryan Zimmerman on the bag? I still don't know. Let's see. Yeah, he was. Boy, he's getting good at that cheating thing coming off the bag. Look at this. He was on the bag. He sells the call. He went out and got it.
I'll have to check with Ryan to see if he took any sales classes at UVA, but he's turned into a salesman over there with those umpires.
But he was the difference in that double play because he went out and got the baseball. That extra click is why they got Ichiro.
Yeah.
If he stays back and just fields that like a traditional first baseman, it's runner on first, 1 out. Now there's nobody on 2 outs because of the way he received the ball at first base.
Christian Yelich for the Marlins, 1-1 pitch. He's faced Ross 3 times, 0 for 1, 2 walks, and in this series 2 for 6. Controlling the running game, Joe Ross early in this one with another good sign. Took a little bit off, just missed. Yelich has drawn 12 walks this year, 3rd most in the league, and he still has the 2nd highest on base percentage at .500. Not to mention a .350 batting average. That's the 5th highest in the league. Talented 24-year-old. Long-term contract. He's healthy. Here's a 3-2. That one over to Lenny Harris. And the big man waits. Ross, a breaking ball, missed. Stanton will bat with a runner aboard.
It's amazing how many times Christian Yelich has walked in front of Giancarlo Stanton. And maybe it's because as a pitcher you're saying I can't walk this guy because Stanton's on deck, and then you end up walking him.
Giancarlo in this series 2 for 6, a homer, a walk, 2 RBIs, and 1 for 3 career against Ross. Good running inside fastball. So inside the numbers, Joe Ross, righties having all kinds of problems. And a lot of young pitchers have trouble with hitters from the other side of the plate when they're their first time around, first year or two in the big leagues. We've seen that with Blake Trinan out of the bullpen. Giancarlo hits one to left, but he didn't get it. Jayson Werth is under it. A base hit, a walk, the double play was big, and the Nats lead Game 3 by 1. Best road outings in recent memory last night. A 3-hit, 8-inning shutout against the Marlins.
A 22nd 10 strikeout game of Steven Strasburg's career. And get this number, since his return from the disabled list on August 8th, 2015, he's 9-2 with a 1.74, a 180 average against, and this is the good one, 113 strikeouts versus just 15 walks. And one awkward hug from his manager in that stat too.
Inside the numbers with Jeep. 9-2 last 13 starts. So he's had decisions in 11 of those 13 starts. And the ERA fantastic.
You know, some of these guys need to come out for early work hug practice.
Gio could help.
Gio could definitely help. Dan Uggla could come out of retirement and come help.
Dan Uggla.
Dan Uggla.
Murphy, another base hit. Left-handed pitcher, left-handed batter. They're playing on over that way, and he just lines it right through the infield. That's a 12-game streak for Murphy. Hard to forget what Jayson Werth did here last night.
No, just so cool. Just watching the evolution of Jayson Werth as a Washington National from day one when everybody said the contract was outrageous. And he struggled the first year in the transition from Philadelphia to here, to see all the home runs, all the goosebump moments he's given us out throughout the years. And then last night with home run 200, it was in the artwork. They found it. He got the baseball. We had some fun with it in the artwork last night after it was there. But all the thrills he's given us throughout the years. Thank you, Jayson Werth.
He's been on base 3 times in this series with a home run, hit by a pitch, and a base on balls. And a strike call. So the Nats, is that over a quarter of a mile in home runs? It is.
It was far. Daniel Murphy now 8 for 13 against lefties on the year.
He's batting .435 with that base hit. And in his hitting streak, he's 18 for 39. Chen turning over that changeup. Jayson not near biting on that one. 1-1. Werth against Chen, 1 for 3 career with, you guessed it, a solo home run.
Hit the ball hard his last time up too to center field. Low line drive for now.
Yeah, I think that's when I asked you, could a guy get locked in by doing something like that, 2 at-bats in a row, and get that confidence back?
He can get locked in between at-bats when you look at video, and they did that last night. He and Rick Shue, between at-bats, they looked at a video, they spread him out a little bit in the course of the game. So between his at-bats and his home run, he made an adjustment. He's a little bit wider in his stance. Look at his feet, they're more spread apart. He's on his legs more, and the result was a homer.
Good rip there.
So the adjustments that hitters make in the course of the game sometimes have real positive outcomes.
Well, I hear you guys say all the time, it's about adjustments. You get here, you fight to stay here by doing just that. One-two pitch. Did he go? Ball's in the dirt. Murphy's going to go to second. The throw into center field took Daniel a while to find it, so he stays. And Worth was called out. That's a strikeout.
Well, good read by Daniel Murphy, and whether Worth struck out or not was huge right here. Why? Well, if Murphy's on second base with nobody out, then Jason Worth has a chance to advance him to third with 1 out. The throw went into center field. Murphy, not knowing if there was no outs or 1 out, stayed on second. I think if he knew Worth struck out, he goes to third. Delayed call.
Wilson Ramos is still in the top 8 in the league in hitting at 341. That's catcher, went deep last night. RBI number 6. And Chen blasting a fastball to the inside edge. Wilson is 1 for 5 career against the lefty. Ramos out to short center, but coming in to grab it, Ichiro Suzuki, 2 outs. Well, they were looking at Joe Ross's index finger between innings, FP. You hate to see a blister possibility.
Well, it's always good to have a good cut man in your corner. Bryce Harper went over to check it out. Maybe a blister issue.
Yeah, we were told a couple of guys in the bullpen were moving around, but nothing else happening for now. Danny Espinosa in this series 1 for 7 with a walk, 1 for 10 against Chen. See how he pitches with the pitcher on deck. Although suddenly Joe Ross is one of the best early season hitting pitchers in the league at 2 for 6.
Yeah, dropped a 10-pitch double his first time up last start in Philly. Uh-oh.
That's not a good sign.
All right, that's just a red alert. Get somebody loose just in case. Start throwing lightly. But we're going to see how it goes when he gets out there. You think?
And Murphy did go to second on a wild pitch. That was not a steal. Here's the 0-1. He read the ball in the dirt and took off. And that's on the corner to Danny Espinosa. Now the fight starts at 0-2. Four starts against the Nats for Chen career as an Oriole. 1-3 with a 5.09 ERA. So Murph's in scoring position with 2 outs. Target in, maybe up. Danny Espinosa, a defensive chop to stay alive. Oh, 2, and That's a pretty good 0-2 pitch if you want to move a guy off the plate. Mercedes-Benz will track it.
That's setting up something else. But you see pitch track, they're pounding Espinosa in.
Yeah. Yeah, Danny was diving on that pitch. Chen last year with Baltimore, 11-8, 31 starts, 3.34 the ERA. That ERA was 0.2 of a run lower than the year before when he went 16-6. Most of those Oriole pitchers get pretty good run support, especially when they pitch at Camden Yards.
Well, if you're wondering about the communication between Real Muto, in 2012, Chen took 20 English classes in spring training to improve. So he speaks good English.
Danny offered. No swing, says Nick Lentz down at first base.
He's also said he's picked up a lot of slang from his teammates. So
slang?
Yeah. He let you figure that one out yourself.
JT's from my neighborhood out in Oklahoma. I wonder who needed the interpreter. He's a good-looking young catcher. Pretty much the everyday guy. This is the third straight game he's caught in this series. A long-time backup, Jeff Mathis, is their other guy. And there's some heat because Danny Espinosa was very close to going on that. And Don Mattingly is letting Hunter Wendelstedt hear about it. Now another step out by Danny.
Did we ever hear about Jerry Lane and what happened last night?
Never got a report. Just hope he's okay.
Yeah.
29-year veteran. Hurt on that Murphy line drive. Espinosa hits this ball out to center. Ichiro Suzuki is right there. Still looks stylish in the outfield. The Nats got a leadoff Murphy hit, and that's it in the second.
Off an impressive rookie season, Joe Ross is off to a strong start to 2016. He's now allowed just one run through his first 15 2/3 innings on the season, and he told me yesterday that this strong start really helps him from a confidence perspective as he goes on in his career. He knows that there's more tape out there on him now than there was last year, more of a scouting report for opposing teams. So he says the fact that he's been able to have success in his first 2 starts is an indication that maybe he might avoid that sophomore slump that we hear so much about throughout the league. Talented players come up, have success, but then the league kind of adjusts to them. Dusty Baker, though, said today the league still hasn't gotten used to Joe yet. They haven't seen a ton of him. Coming into today, he had only made more than 1 start against 3 teams throughout the bigs. So a lot of teams still adjusting to Joe, but he does feel that these first 2 starts of the year are a good sign that he might stick and maybe improve upon what he did last year.
Yeah, we are so encouraged as well. So that's Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. That was pitch number 16. He's thrown 10 strikes. The hitter is Justin Bour, and Ross gets a call up in the zone to the inside edge.
Boy, at this level too, they watch for everything. They're zooming in on your glove. They're seeing if you're tipping pitches.
And Bour out to left field. Jason Worth under it, and the Nats have Justin Bour 0 for 9 in this series. Let's talk some ERA. Maeda of the Dodgers pitched Sunday night. Less than a half run per game. Joe Ross just over a half run per game. And Gio, who's only walked 2 guys in his first 2 starts, in on the fun as well. Logan Verrett had a big game for the Mets at Philadelphia last night. Strasburg is in the hunt.
I think some guy named Zimmerman has a 0.00 ERA in the American League last time I checked. That's pretty good.
Anything under 3 in that league is phenomenal.
Yeah, but 0 is pretty good too.
Derek Dietrich, the hitter, gets a start tonight. 4 for 10, 3 RBIs. We've always liked what we've seen of this 26-year-old infielder, backup guy, Derek Dietrich. Got some pop. 10 homers, 24 RBIs here last year. Shift is on. He might have gone. He did, says Trip Gibson down at third.
Did he go? Let's check it out from the side. Looks like he did.
Dietrich facing Ross for the first time. 0-2 with 1 out. Oh, that was a loud bat sound, and evidently Dietrich must have been grazed on the hand, because that sounded like wood on baseball there.
Well, he's got an elbow guard on, or a tricep guard at least. I think that's where it got him. Let's check it out.
Okay.
And he just kind of leans into it, actually. Trying to get on base any way he can. Leaves his tricep right there. Wears one for the ball club.
Next up, the catcher, JT Realmuto, 1 for 7 here.
I think what Dan was talking about, they have tape on me. When you watch video of pitchers as a hitter, you see if they get in patterns. But you're also looking to see if he's tipping pitches. Does he go into his glove at a different point on certain pitches? Does his glove fan out? Is there any edge I can get on this guy? And there's so much video in today's game. You have hitting coaches in everybody's super slow-mo HD trying to find something on a young pitcher to give their team the edge. So it's not necessarily, oh, he's fastball, slider, change. His fastball does this, his slider does that. It's who cares about that? I'll see that with my eyes. Is there some kind of advantage I can get to him by seeing if he tips his pitches or falls into a pattern? Sometimes young guys, Carp, don't know they tip because there's not as much TV in the minor leagues.
And all these expert analysts picking up stuff.
There's stuff I pick up that I don't say because I don't want people to know. I mean, that was my job on the bench, to see if you were tipping. He's the best there ever was. Only thing was, he wouldn't tell you. And the reason he wouldn't tell you is because, well, you might be on a different team next year with the guy, and you'll tell him, and then I don't have him anymore.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, thanks, Barry, for nothing.
Yeah. Well, then the next year, Barry couldn't hit 4 home runs against that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
2-1 with 1 out. Realmuto fishing a bit outside the strike zone, and the count's even.
He would frustrate Rob Nen to death. He'd stand out in left field and tell Rob Nen, I know every pitch you're throwing. I can see it from left field. And Rob Nen would say, well, tell me then. And he said, nope, I might have to face you someday.
Well, double play possibility here. It's always in play with Joe and that sinking fastball. Nats have turned 1 already tonight. Dietrich a short lead. Long look. Runner holding on a 2-2 pitch, and now the count's full. And we'll see if Don Mattingly does something with Derek Dietrich at first base. Marlins are off to a 4-8 start. Just 1-6 at home. Everything down in this Nissan pitch track at bat. Dietrich running. Liner to left. Here comes Worth. Jason's going to slide into the catch. Takes a look at the runner, and Dietrich back to first. Good play by Jason, 2 outs.
Well, Jason Worth plays deeper than most left fielders in baseball because he likes to come in on the ball versus going back. And you see the good jump he gets right here. And then the 2 hands he uses to secure that thing. Nice play. Had that funny sound. You thought it might have a chance to sit, but Jason Worth not having it.
Adeiny Echeverria back in the lineup tonight. Marlins gave him a night off last evening and had Miguel Rojas at short. Game 1 Monday night, he had a base hit, scored a run first time up. He went 1 for 3 with a walk. He doesn't hit like that against the Nats as a rule. Had a rough series over the weekend against Atlanta, who came in here and swept. Our old friend Brian Schneider was making note of the early Marlins schedule. They had the Tigers here for 2, came to DC, went to Citi Field, then had the Braves, who were due to win some, come in here. Now the Nats. They're going to San Francisco, LA on their next road trip. So they're getting a dose of tough scheduling early.
If playing 3 against the Braves at home is tough scheduling, I'm not buying it.
Well, the only point I made about them, they were due to win something.
If they're using that, I mean, that's a team you got to beat.
I think they're thinking more about the Nats home and home, Giants, Dodgers. Like we said last week, we're glad Minnesota's won some games before they come to our ballpark Friday. 3-1 pitch. Out of play. In fact, the Braves won again yesterday. They've got the Dodgers in Atlanta, scoreless second inning. Dusty's ball club 10-3, 3 up on the Mets, who have a 2-0 second inning lead at Philadelphia. Three, 2 outs. Runners going up the middle. Espinosa to his left. Ball comes up for him. Close at first. And Danny Espinosa guns out Echeverria. Always got to check close plays at the end of an inning before we go away, and we've been cleared to do so. 1-0 Nats.
Top of the third inning. Come out to Nats Park on Tuesday, April 26th as the Nats take on the Phils in game 1 of the 3-game set. First 20,000 fans in attendance. You get that thing to the right there and stick it on your car. It's a Teddy Plush window clink. Visit nationals.com to purchase your tickets today.
Top of the third. Dusty Baker will send his leadoff man in there, who's at batting .333, Joe Ross.
You know, a time lapse of Dusty Baker through 9 innings and where he stands on the bench and where he moves around to would be awesome. He said he couldn't find a good spot last night until the 7th inning. Went all the way down to the far end, and 4 taters later, his team was up 7-0.
Yeah, he got a little closer to the outfield wall than his hitters really did. Joe Ross facing Chen for the first time. .5 for 33 career with the bat. Taylor, Rendon to follow, top 3.
I remember Joe Ross's first at bat against the Phillies. 10 pitches, finished it with a double down the left field line. I asked Dusty if he'd use him as a pinch hitter in a pinch, you know, extra inning game, your bench is running low. He said absolutely.
Yeah. Two-one pitch. Ross looks at the same one, and it's ball 3.
He's got a great eye. He's spitting on stuff, and
it's not a great sign.
Not a great sign.
Petite throwing.
I mean,
Ross obviously able to hit if there's a blister. And if you're Dusty Baker, you don't want to burn a pinch hitter this early in the game if he is due to come out. He takes the walk. Second issued by Chen. The first man he walked, Anthony Rendon, scored in the first.
And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's ball game. That's brought to you by Miller Lite.
Taylor 3 for 10, on base 4 times in the series. 2 runs scored. Couple of stolen glances at the left side of the infield there. Target in.
See how Michael Taylor took that pitch? I love when hitters trail it. Watch his head. I like when hitters watch the ball right to the glove, so you see the last 5 feet and where it ends up. You know, all good hitters throughout history, like Wade Boggs, they watch that ball right into the glove. Then you know what it does once it gets past you. So as a hitter, if you're taken or you just decide not to swing, for you young hitters, watch it all the way into the glove. See what it does that last 2 feet, because that's valuable information when you do go to fire off a swing finally. But if you stand there and you don't track it with your eyes, how do you know what it does once it gets into the dirt or into the catcher's glove?
One and two, nobody out. Taylor on a high fastball struck out again. Michael A has struck out 18 times in 52 at bats. Anthony Rendon is next. Chen first 2 innings, 28 pitches, 17 strikes. Joe Ross is at 33 over 20. And we hope that's not his final count of the night.
Well, it has to be, because Yusmeiro Petit is warming up. I mean, he's hot. He's ready to go. He's letting it rip down there. He's not getting inside work. He's coming in this ball game. And that's what the Nats signed him for. Situations just like this.
Well, they know what a good long guy he is, especially from the playoffs 2 years ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Short memory, I like it.
Yeah.
Anthony Rendon's good eye gets the count in his favor. Jammed, and a pop-up on the infield. D. Gordon, 2 outs.
Well, you in the mood for a home run? Maybe number 7 for Bryce Harper. How about his 2nd grand slam this season and of his career? Slider down the way, pulls. He saw the dugout in the back. Just a low line drive out of here. And look how calm he is. Yeah, been there, done that. We're gonna do it again.
Power numbers as we go inside him with Jeep. On base percentage plus slugging at nearly 1.300 to start the season, and twice that over the last week, as we noted before. Oh, he's ripped it twice against Chen. First one right to D. Gordon. That one a loud foul ball.
105 on the hit speed on his first line drive, and this one might have been harder. Just caught it out front.
Harper career against Chen, 3 for 13, a walk, 2 RBIs.
That bat he holds is a weapon. I mean, the ball is coming off at over 100 miles an hour, pretty much everything he hits.
Target in, that ball elevated a bit. Strike 2. Since the start of last season, over 90 extra base hits. Nolan Arenado, the only guy who has more. Arenado's teammate Trevor Story right now has 12, at least in 2 today, and Bryce has 10.
Jason Worth had some great things to say about Bryce last night after the game, and the one that stuck with me is how he's surrounded by a lot of good players, and that's helping him get pitches. We always sit up here and scratch our heads. Why are they throwing to him? Well, you got Ryan Zimmerman, you got Daniel Murphy, you got Jason Worth, some pretty accomplished hitters hitting behind him, so it's kind of a pick your poison.
Harper gashes one out to deep right center. Ichiro cannot get it. Steaming around third is Joe Ross. Bryce Harper has another RBI, number 21, and the Nats lead 2-0.
I mean, they keep trying him, he keeps burning everybody, and it's only a matter of time before he starts getting walked. I'm telling you, no matter what the situation. And Chen tries the off speed, Bryce Harper catches it out front, and by the way, this is a home run in some ballparks. Bryce will settle for a ringing double with 2 outs that scores Joe Ross all the way from first.
Without a play, 2-0. Here's Zimmerman, his double to left center. Joven Rendon first time up, and now another look at the right hand of Joe Ross.
I don't think Dusty Baker is going to take a chance this early in the season with his prized young possession. There's no way. We'll see. I don't think so.
Counts even on a pitch upstairs, 1-1.
Been around baseball a long time. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody hit the ball harder on a consistent basis.
Yeah, some guys love to have a 7-game hitting streak. How about an RBI streak?
You see guys hit the ball hard here and there, but it seems like every time he hits,
So Bryce Harper, another extra base hit, his 11th of the year. 1-2 to Ryan Zimmerman. In the dirt. Harper reads it and stays.
And he's 6 for 13 against lefties this year.
That is as big a power zone as you will see anybody.
I like the ones that have just a touch of green around the edge. It's pretty.
Zimmerman to the left of the shortstop. Echeverria gets behind it, throws him out. Leadoff walk to the opposing pitcher hurts Wei-Yin Chen. Harper made it so with 2 down.
Time for some Geico highlights. Check out Ryan Zimmerman. Home run his last time up last night. First time up tonight. He goes double in the gap. And then Ichiro Suzuki. So get this. You see him cheat to get the double play coming off early. That's only the 87th double play he's hit into in over 10,000 plate appearances.
Wow. Obviously, Joe frustrated. Has to leave after 33 pitches in 2 innings. The Nats signed Yusmeiro Petit as a free agent, as FP said, for situations like this that might come up. That took place on December 14th. Fourth appearance for Washington. Wei-Yin Chen.
Petit fastball, slider, curveball change. Fastball averaging 88 miles an hour. 2-seam fastball keeps it down the zone. Slider, curve, 84-76.
He's already pitched in this series. 8th inning. Monday night gave up a hit to Miguel Rojas pinch hitting. Retired Real Muto, Echeverria, and Gordon.
If you're flipping back and forth between hockey and baseball and you're a hockey fan, you're wondering why he came out with a blister on his finger. For a pitcher, that's a big deal. And you want to nip that thing in the bud before it gets worse and turns into missing a start or 2 starts because they don't have a feel for the baseball. Those things can get real ugly and they can last a long time. So if you see a pitcher early in the season with one, get him out of there. You don't want that thing to get worse. You don't want him to compensate in his delivery and maybe get injured. Just go in the clubhouse and stick that finger in pickle juice. It's the best cure for a blister. Did you know that?
I had not heard that.
You haven't heard that?
Two-2. Chen 0 for 3 this year, and 0 for 9 is a big league hitter with a couple of sacrifices, and he's going to try to get some cuts here. Mercedes-Benz will track it, the entire AB. Right in there. That's the first strikeout by a Nats pitcher tonight. 1 out, 3rd inning.
Well, that's $37. It's time for Toyota K's for Kids. Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season. There's other cures for blisters that aren't for TV. But whatever it takes, heal that thing back out there in 5 days.
Top of the order, D. Gordon. I bet Siri's busy right now.
I think those are piranhas. Pretty sure.
D. Gordon 2 for 8 career against Petit. Tried to bunt, but the ball was kind of coming in on him. It was a ground ball to Danny Espinoza, on which Petit retired Gordon for the last out, bottom of the 8th, in the Marlins 6-1 win Monday. Out to left center. Worth will cut it off and make the grab. Jason Worth covering lots of ground in a spacious outfield so far.
Well, he's really the only one that had a chance at that from where we're sitting. D. Gordon hit that ball well, but it was tailing back toward Worth. So this will give you a good look at it. Watch the inside out tail to this. Kind of like a fade, goes right back to Jason Worth. Michael Taylor takes the deep route. Jason Worth takes the inside route. A nice running catch by the Nats left fielder. I mean, if that gets by both of them, it's a homer.
Correct. 2 outs, Ichiro. 5-4-3 double play ball to Rendon. And he's playing in the same place right now. It just took a couple of steps back, but with Gordon on first in the first inning, Anthony was playing even with the bag. And then Murphy was able to turn it on a close play. Ball 2. $4,218 hits, counting Japan and the major leagues. All those pitches seen. I mean, you're kidding me? Almost 37,000 pitches. Only A-Rod of active players more hits. Ichiro hits one hard to Ryan Zimmerman, who continues to play very good first base. 1-2-3 for Petit. Murphy, Worth, and Ramos. Nats lead 2-0. Fourth inning of Nationals baseball is brought to you by the RAV4 Hybrid, all-wheel drive, unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com tonight. Beautiful evening in Miami. Roof closed. The Nats on RBIs by their cleanup man Zimmerman, first inning. Their number 3 hitter, Harper, third inning. On top 2-0, trying to take a 2-1 advantage in this 4-game series.
You know, one thing we could never do is complain about the roof being closed here. After all those rain delays at the old place, and starting at 10 o'clock and getting done at 1 in the morning, and really cutting into our South Beach time, I will never complain about the roof being closed here.
Now, I told you the other night, every year we come here, I like Marlins Park a little bit more.
Yeah, and I like that they lowered the fences. I like the plants out in center field and in right center field.
Now that Worth has hit the artwork, we like it.
Did you hear what he said last night after he hit the artwork?
I did not.
I think you'll be excited about it. He said, what, did it get lodged in a dolphin? Question mark. So he, like you, thought those were dolphins originally when we first got here, but now you know that they're swordfish.
For you Marlins fans who might be watching tonight, since your guys aren't televising, FP, after I made that gaffe 3 years ago, nicknamed them the Pinocchio Dolphins.
They can be found in the cool waters of the Atlantic,
where no fishing boat has gone before.
Dolphins who, when they lie, their nose grows.
0-2 to Murphy, inside out swing. Daniel took one perfectly to left field his first time up. So he is 18 for 39 during his now 12-game hitting streak. That's a mark of 462. And overall, he's batting 435. He's going to reach out and bump one out into center field. A couple of infielders after it. D. Gordon had to make a last-minute adjustment. Pardon me, the shortstop Echeverria, as that ball came in over the bill of his cap. Let's go inside the numbers with PNC. So Jayson Werth in some pretty good company. 323 players have hit 200 homers or more. Tiger catcher Bill Freehan, Oscar Gamble, Josh Hamilton, Don Mincher, who was with the Senators for a while. Next to 201, Buddy Bell, Gene Tennis, and the guy he plays with, Ryan Zimmerman.
Good company, good career.
His RBIs have him tied with Dave Henderson and Tony Pena, among others.
Kind of sounded like Vin right there when you said Tony Pena. You know that?
Tony Pena.
That's good.
Middle finger blister for Joe Ross took him out of this game. Werth fights one off and it'll drop into center field. So Jayson Werth starting to visit first base and beyond a whole lot more in the last 3 or 4 games. Nats have their 4th base hit.
I think a lot of fans, when you think of Jayson Werth, you think about the big contract with the Nats, maybe the Phillies and the postseason heroics. But what you don't think of is he spent 7 years in the minor leagues. You know, first-round draft pick of the Baltimore Orioles. I actually saw him on his very first day as a pro taking BP at Camden Yards when the Expos were in town. Tall, skinny kid with glasses. But this is a guy that grinded in the minor leagues. Was a catcher, turned himself into an outfielder, tremendous athlete, could fly. But, you know, you think Jayson Werth superstar. He paid his dues in the minor leagues and learned how to play the game before he got up here.
Wilson Ramos, 6-4-3. Inning over. And the Nats, after 3.5, still on top 2-0.
2-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Eddie Bryce Harper sitting in the stands next to Giancarlo Stanton. Kids Opening Day. The Junior Nats Kids Club presents Kids Opening Day, Sunday, April 24th, Nats Park. Celebrate Screech's birthday with Signature Sunday. Kids, you can run the bases after the game as your Nats take on the Twins. Visit nationals.com to purchase your tickets today.
Bottom of the fourth inning. Nice seats, gentlemen.
Kids Opening Day.
Christian Yelich, bottom of the fourth. He coaxed a walk from Joe Ross ahead of Giancarlo Stanton in the first inning. So Yelich now 13 walks on the year, tied with Gregory Polanco of the Pirates. That's off the glove of Petit. A chance. Safe. Yelich runs well, and he beat it out.
I think Ismero thought he should have had this one. Let's check out the replay again. The first hop in the dirt. That ball's hit pretty hard. Good hustle by the Nats pitcher. Good throw. And Christian Yelich on what seems like for the 100th time in a row in front of Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah. He's been on base 5 times in this series now. Giancarlo pulled one high in the air to left, but it wasn't that deep, and Jason Worth caught it, ending the first inning. Petit against Stanton. Giancarlo is 0 for 5 career against him with a strikeout. Three homers, 10 RBIs on the year. 184 career home runs. Christian Yelich 1 for 2 stealing.
We talk about hitting a spot. Wilson Ramos set up down and away, almost off the plate away. Petit just drilling that fastball. Wilson didn't move his glove.
Yeah, there's a little, you saw in the power zone, a little slot down there low and away where you can get a strike if he can't get to it. And that one elevated a little bit and foul tipped into the glove of Wilson Ramos. And Petit has struck out 2 of the 5 men he's faced.
Well, a 3-pitch see, right? Look at where he's pitched him, down and away. This one might have cut a little bit as you see Wilson Ramos reach across at the very end. So 2 fastballs on the plate away, then he expands. Stanton thinking it's going to be in the same spot. It's not. Strike 3. That was beautiful execution of a game plan.
Yeah, he's now 0 for 6 career against Yusmeiro Petit. Here's Justin Bour against Joe Ross. Fly ball to left first time. High in the air to right and hooking out of play.
I just saw something interesting. Anthony Rendon talking to Daniel Murphy in the infield. He said if Murphy goes to his left and has to spin move for the double play feed, Rendon's taking the bag. If it's just a normal ground ball, Espinosa is going to circle back to turn the double play. So that's the kind of communication that goes on when you have a shift. So Rendon, if Murphy goes toward the line, is going to turn it. If it's right to Murphy, Danny Espinosa is going to the bag.
1-1. Good base runner at first. Yelich. Bour pulls it, and there's Murphy. It's Espinosa. Well observed, my friend. 4-6-3. Fourth inning is over. Santangelo and Petit having some ESP going on here.
double play, and I'll kind of try to draw it for you and show you why it's going to happen. If Murphy has to go this way, Danny's first step is going to be this way, so Rendon will cover. If it's right to Daniel Murphy, then Danny Espinosa is going to circle back and cover because his first step is going to be toward the back. They both actually go for it, but there's some good communication at the end. So we'll roll it. You see it's right at him. Espinosa circling back. Rendon peels off at the last second. They were both going toward the bag. So pre-pitch communication with the shift and everybody kind of learning how to return a double play because they're all standing in different spots.
Well thought out and executed by everybody involved. Top of the 5th inning, Espinosa, Ross, and Taylor. The Nats and the Mets fewest errors in the league, and the Nationals, as you saw on our graphic, have now turned 15 double plays, 2 picture perfect ones tonight. Espinosa off and running. Chen throws him out. Danny's 1 for 9 in the series. Yusmeiro Petit. First plate appearance for the Nats. In his career, he is 5 for 112. But he's found a way to drive in 3 runs.
I remember him having a good swing.
Probably had to see him for what, at least 2 at-bats that night. The night you don't remember against the Giants.
I think he had 8 at-bats. And we all celebrated 2 birthdays. Shaved a couple of times.
There were some postseason batting averages. It took a beating that night. And Chen taking a little bit off, just hitting a spot, 2-2. That's it. 2 outs in the 5th. Let's go down to Dan.
Bob, the Nationals facing their 2nd straight left-handed starter tonight. Dusty Baker talking about southpaws earlier today. He said lefties are lefties. They can either be real good or real bad. They can get you out sometimes throwing nothing. He then launched into a story about a former teammate who was a left-handed pitcher. Dusty would ask him after an outing, "Hey man, what was that pitch you threw?" The guy would say, "It was my nothing pitch. I throw nothing and they do nothing with it."
Michael A. Taylor, deep right center, gone. And now, in terms of homers that wouldn't have been last year, it's 2-1 Nats in this series. Michael A., 2nd of the year, RBI number 3, and they're going crazy at Westminster Academy up in Fort Lauderdale. It is a much more fair ballpark now. That ball was really hit.
There's just so much upside to Michael A. Taylor. I mean, you see him strike out the first 2 times up, and then he comes up his 3rd time and drills one to right center for a home run. That's not easy to do when you have a few Ks to start a game up.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. That's just sticking with it and trusting your ability.
And the 2 great things I love about it, first home run, and then secondly, right center. If Michael can use that part of the ballpark more, he will be dangerous. Rendon with a walk, a run. He's 0 for 1. And the Nationals have now hit 5 home runs in this series. All of them since the beginning of the 7th inning last night. '17th career home run. That ball to the left side for Echeverria. That's it for the Nationals. But they have RBIs on 2 doubles and now a home run. Michael A. Taylor gets all of it to right center.
Tater makes it 3-0 Nats. Minnesota Twins visit Nats Park April 22nd to 24th and celebrate the first 3-game weekend series of the year. Pups in the park on Saturday, kids opening day on Sunday. Visit Nationals.com for tickets.
A big game for the Nationals tonight. They've got their ace going tomorrow. 3-0 Washington. There's Max. And Petit pours in a strike. His first 2 innings, Yusmero, 23 pitches, 16 strikes, and Max is already pacing. Can't wait for tomorrow.
Some scheduled days off tomorrow for some players. And I talked to Dusty before the game. He said, yeah, I scheduled it before the road trip. I said, does tonight's outcome matter? He said, no, you know, if we lose tonight, they're still off. I mean, I can't start doing that. If I start saying, well, if we win, they're off. If we lose, they're not. They're never going to have an off day. So he doesn't care if you win the first 2 out of 3 or lose the first 2 out of 3. He's sticking to his scheduled days off. He's trying to keep his guys fresh all season long. Thought that was interesting because a lot of managers, it's based on whether you win tonight.
And they just can't resist,
and
can they?
Yeah, and you just get in that trap where you run your guys into the ground and you start flip-flopping. It's like, he's consistent with it no matter what the outcome, and you got to love that.
Yeah, that's great. Players have to totally buy into that. 1-2 to Dietrich, who was hit by a pitch first time. Breaking ball. He hits one a ton to right center, and the Marlins are on the board. Derek Dietrich, first of the year. 3-1 ball game on his 25th career home run.
A short, compact swing here by Dietrich, and he gets what looks like a curveball that just kind of backed up on Yusmero Petit. And a line drive bolt out of here to get the Marlins on the board. Good swing.
That was over the original wall here. Marlins' 8th homer of the year. They're in the bottom 3 in the league in long balls. That'll change when GIANCARLO gets cranked up. Here's Real Muto. He had that flare to left on which Worth came rushing in first time to make the grab. Well, you look at the radar gun with Petit pitching. Everything he throws plays a lot faster than what you're seeing. That ball gashed out to center. Taylor going back. So now we're wondering if maybe Jason Worth coming in for the Real Muto drive and then going hard to his left for the Gordon drive. An inning later may have hurt himself because Chris Heisey's in left.
I don't think the Jose Fernandez hit by pitch last night had anything to do with it. Maybe it was that ball in the gap. He really extended to make that play, and you hope he's okay.
This one up the middle. Danny Espinosa to his left. A couple of hops to get himself lined up, and then the gun takes over from there. 2 outs. When you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence. Brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you and the minor league insights and numbers on 31-year-old Rafael Martin. Pitching very well, 5 games, couple of saves, no ERA. And FP, you've alluded to him when we saw him last year starting at Fenway Park. He's another guy who's sneaky fast. Balls by you before you know it.
Boy, that feels like 8 years ago, doesn't it? Opening day at Fenway Park last year.
Long time. Wei-Yin Chen struck out looking first time. He was Petit's first hitter 2 innings ago. And he hits one out to left for Chris Heisey. Things are happening quickly tonight. Top of the 6th, 3-1 Washington.
Guess the hit speeds. I think I told you the first one. So Carp, you're going to guess the second one. I told you what the first one was. It was 105. All right. So everybody can play at home on the second one.
105, 105. Ooh. I'm going to go 108 on that one.
All right. Tweet me what you think. Quick. Oh, you probably don't have time. I should have set it up better. Wait, they didn't show the second one. All right. Little mystery. 96 miles an hour.
Let it never be said that I overestimate any of that.
What'd you say?
I said 108.
That's all right. I thought
it was scorched.
I would have been there with you.
What slow gun did they get out for that one?
I mean, we got to get a sponsor for that. Guess the hit speed.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper hit speed. Then they can pay us.
Got to be a collision center somewhere that would like that one.
Give us a few cars. We'll drive around.
A couple of beat up ones.
Beater uppers.
All right, top of the 6th, Harper, Zimmerman, Murphy. 3-5-0 Nats, they've left 2. 1-3-0 Marlins, they've stranded a couple as well.
DC Lexus dealers are donating $250 to the Children's National Health System for every home run a Nats player hits this year. So keep them coming. It's for a wonderful cause. Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. I'm going to say 102 right here before he even hits.
Wearing out the Marlins now over the last 4+ years. He gets off speed, 82 from Chen. That's a busted bat. And Bryce is going to bust it to first. Thrown out by Gordon. Ryan Zimmerman 1 for 2. So is Daniel Murphy, the next 2 Nats hitters. Bryce has 2 hits this whole series, but he has a sac fly, the grand slam, and he's driven in 6 runs with his double tonight. Ryan IDing the changeup 2-0. On a pitch up, a chopper. A third of the way to the mound. Chen plays it well. Murphy next. Nats box. Rendon walk. Zimmerman double first inning for a run. Ross leadoff walk. Harper 2-out double for a run in the third. And then with 2 outs, Michael A. Taylor opposite field shot his second for a then 3-0 lead. Derek Dietrich has made it 3-1.
I feel like this is a pretty typical Wei-Yin Chin outing. He's a guy that's going to keep you in the ball game. You know, give up 2 runs, 3 runs, hope his team scores more.
120th career big league start tonight. Talked about a ZRA earlier, 3.75. Not bad for pitching 4 years, half of your games at Oriole Park. Not exactly a pitcher's haven when the weather warms up.
Yeah, 4 seasons in Japan. He went 36-30 with a 2.48 in 117 games for the Chinichi Dragons. So, I mean, he knows how to keep the runs down and keep his team in a ball game. I don't think of him as a dominant guy. I just think of him like a guy that's going to give you some innings to give you a chance to win.
2-2 to Murphy. Tied for first in the league with Josh Harrison, Gene Segura, Starling Marte, and Carlos Gonzalez. 7 multi-hit games already. Chris Heisey for Jason Worth whenever his spot comes up.
So funny when you watch defenses against Daniel Murphy, they just play him straight up. There's not a whole lot you can do. He hits the ball all over the place, so you can't shift him.
Breaking ball in the dirt. He did swing, says home plate umpire Hunter Wendelstedt.
He's got to ask for help on that.
Yeah, you've remarked about this numerous times. The hitters get upset when the umpire won't even ask for help.
You can read his lips. You got to be kidding me. Ask for help. What is he down there for? I mean, you can almost hear him, but you can definitely read his lips. That's not even
oh my
close.
gosh, not even close to a swing. maybe as big of a miss as I've ever seen from an umpire on a check swing. Not even close.
You say just ask for help. You see Dusty Baker in the background, just ask for help. Chris Spire saying the same thing. And what you couldn't see was Daniel Murphy talking to himself between innings. Frustrated.
That's a great first pitch changeup by Yusmeiro Petit, and he gets D. Gordon on a fly ball to center. 6th inning, bottom half underway. D. Gordon, by the way, 1 for 3 tonight, and in this series 2 for 10. So the Nats have done a good job on him. The only Marlin run tonight, leadoff homer, 5th inning, Derek Dietrich, his first of the year. Oliver Perez now working. Say one thing for Petit, he embraces this role. In 3 innings, he only threw 34 pitches, 26 strikes. Then he got a quick out here in the 6th, his 4th inning of work. Suzuki and Yelich the next 2. Ichiro, couple of ground balls, 1 to 3rd, 1 to 1st.
Well, this night turned weird in a hurry. First the blister with Joe Ross, or what we thought was a blister, and then Jason Worth disappearing. We hope he's okay. Hope they're both okay.
Ichiro to the left side, ball spinning like crazy. Danny Espinosa plays it beautifully. 2 outs.
Well, not an easy play because of the speed of the runner. Ichiro could still run. I mean, he doesn't fly like he used to. That's a put it in your pocket, you know, in the early 2000s, but he still gets down there quick, and Danny Espinosa knew it. Had to come get it. Nice play.
Ichiro 0 for 5 career against Petit with that out. And here's Giancarlo Stanton. Base hit up the middle, leading off. Pardon me. Struck out after Yelich, who steps in now. Led off the 4th inning, and then that double play ball off the bat of Justin Boers. So let's see if the Nats can retire Christian Yelich ahead of Stanton. Yelich has just been all over the bases in this series. Tailing action to the outside edge.
Two-run game. This is a big at-bat.
Wow, what a changeup. Started the inning with 1 on Gordon, ends the inning with a beauty on Yelich. So Giancarlo cannot tie the game the next time he comes around. 3-1 Nats.
Summary brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Arlington. Visit them at www.justmercedes.com. 3-1 as we go to the top of the 7th inning, but Jason Worth exited this game with an apparent injury, so we're just going to show you Jason's night. We didn't see anything on the replays. A running catch there, looks fine. On first base here on the 6-4 3 double play, slides in, fine. So usually get some pretty good detective work and we can figure out what happens when guys leave the game, but we don't know.
Here's his sub in left field, Chris Heisey.
And the Nats don't tell us till after the game, so we'll let you know after.
Heisey 3 for 11 with a home run. 5 strikeouts, 2 walks in his first 7 games in a Washington uniform. 284 career hitter. And since he came up with the Reds in 2010, best power pinch hitter in all of baseball. Joe Ross reappears. He threw 33 pitches in 2 innings. Petit has thrown 43 pitches in 4 innings.
I'm telling you, man, he's had his finger in pickle juice the whole time. I don't know what it does, but that's just what you do. That's what pitchers do when they have blisters.
Didn't know Major League clubhouses had pickle juice.
Have you ever seen a pickle with a blister? No. So it makes sense to me.
Right-hander Brian Morris for Miami. Chen has thrown 83 pitches, 53 strikes in 6 innings. 2-2 now, and Heisey sees the off speed and the count's full. So that was Chen's count coming into this 7th inning. It's a series that has featured pretty solid pitching by both ball clubs, but there have been bursts of offense here and there. And of course, a volcanic burst right about this time last night, actually. Heisey pops it up right side and hopes it gets out. It will.
Yeah, that was a sneak attack under the radar last night, 7th inning. You didn't see that one coming. Both pitchers. Adam Conley was great through 6. Steven Strasburg was great through 8.
At the knees. Chen, strikeout number 6.
Yeah, he's been working the bottom of the zone nice. You see pitch track everything away to Chris Heisey, and then the 8th pitch of the at-bat, good battle, goes Chen's way.
Wilson Ramos 0 for 2, fly ball to center.
I like what I saw from Adam Conley last night. He was effectively wild. He competed. Fastball was good. Slider was good. Had everybody off balance, and then kind of just hit the wall in the 7th.
He made some interesting comments that I saw this morning. He said, I really learned from what happened to me last night. He said, I was thinking about pitching too deep into the game and probably didn't go all out in the 7th inning like I should have. And that night got turned around in a hurry. Ramos hits this one a long way to right. Stanton halfway onto the track. 2 outs.
Bud and Burger packs are on their way. It's presented by Budweiser. They're on sale now. Well, not right now because nobody's at Nats Park. Get a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday game ticket plus a beer and a burger starting at just $35. Some restrictions apply. Visit nationals.com/Bud&Burger. Hi. There's people at the Verizon Center right now watching hockey on TV.
Cool.
Viewing party.
Danny Espinosa 0 for 2 tonight. Yusmeiro Petit prepared at least to come out on deck. Now, he just pitched here 2 nights ago, but it was only 10 pitches, 8 strikes in the 8th inning when he gave up a hit and retired the other 3 guys. I mean, he's averaging under 11 pitches per inning tonight.
That's what he does. He's in his happy place right now.
That's a base hit for Danny Espinosa. Now we'll see if Petit gets called back.
Looking that way.
Yeah, Petit is going back, and Clint Robinson's coming out.
But Dusty will tell you, nobody on, it's you. One guy on, it's you. Bases loaded, it's you. So you'll see bench guys lining up like airplanes at Reagan. They're all ready to go up there and hit.
Well, no right-handed batters on the bench with Heisey already in the game, and Dusty's not going to use Jose Lobaton there. So Oliver Perez poised for the 7th. What an outing for Yusmeiro Petit. 2 hits, 1 run in 4 innings. Struck out 3. Didn't walk a batter. Got a double play ball.
So this is a bench guy scouting report, and this will offend bench guys. Like, wait, you didn't have to go over me in the pregame meeting today, so now you're going to do it? You see it all the time. Pitching coaches run out when a pinch hitter comes up because they go over the starting lineup, and they very rarely go over the extra players on scouting reports.
Yeah. Well, Chen should remember Clint Robinson because he's 2 for 3 career against him.
Nice.
He may not remember exactly what pitches he threw, but so this is interesting. I mean, Clint probably didn't think he would get a pinch hitting appearance until very late in the game against a right-handed reliever. Here it's against a left-handed starter. Up there, first pitch swinging.
Excuse me, Carp. Lefty might be just what Clint Robinson needs because he's been pulling the baseball more than normal just to stay in, let it get deep and thick the other way. Lefties will tell you a lot of times facing another lefty actually get him right.
One.
Pretty good numbers career against lefties.
Wow. And a 1-2. He's going to get rung up on a pitch that Clint thought was off the plate. Things have gotten a little dicey in the batter's box for the Nats the last 2 innings.
In Miami, Oliver Perez will take the mound now for the Nationals. We've seen a number of different movements, gyrations, times to the plate from Oliver Perez so far this season. I talked to him about that recently. He said that's something that he did when he was a starting pitcher, but he started incorporating it a lot more as a reliever. He said his thinking being, as a reliever, hitters see you much more infrequently, so if you can mix it up, vary your times, it makes it a lot harder on him. He said sometimes he knows going into a pitch what he wants to do. Others, he just kind of lets it flow and goes with whatever feels right up there. I asked him if he has a favorite. He said the one where he kind of pauses at the top, turns his back to the hitter so they can see his numbers. He said that's the most effective one, and teammates also get a kick out of it. He gets a lot of laughs from that one. But he likes varying his times and movements, guys. We've seen that a lot from him.
Well, Dan, I've got something infrequent for you. He's never faced Giancarlo Stanton. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Dan with our Coons.com sideline report. One and one.
Well, I like the one that he's talking about. It amuses the broadcasters too, but he's also got the quick pitch where he'll go real quick and slide step you even with nobody on. Then he's got the one where he just lifts up his leg and pauses with no turn. That was the standard delivery. So by my count, he's got 4 different deliveries.
He had Giancarlo out in the balls of his feet on this one.
That's just the normal one, standard. Pretty good slider.
6th appearance of the year. Gave up a hit and a walk here the other night. And with Stanton coming up, he was taken out of the game. But Boer's a lefty next. And then Dietrich.
That's the pause at the top delivery. Did you see that? That's the Mr. Miyagi. Wax on, wax off. Little crane technique.
Funny looking swing on 81. And Oliver Perez can do it to right-handed batters as well.
Well, it's different deliveries, but it's also different arm angles. You see him drop down on Stanton right there with 2 strikes. He dropped down early in the count, but that one he really drops down. Watch his arm angle. Sidearm, slider, and how many times you see Giancarlo Stanton get off a swing like this? Pretty good hitter that he just made look bad. Emergency swing.
Maybe never on that swing.
Yeah.
Sean Kelly. Probably won't see him in a while. Well, maybe we will sooner than we think, because Prado's going to bat for Boer here. By that was Nissan on that at bat and on that pitch and on that swing. 1 out, Martin Prado, and he is 3 for 17 career against Oliver Perez. So the Marlins go to their bench for the first time.
I mean, it makes you wonder why more guys don't do it, but it's probably difficult to repeat your mechanics, and it's something that he works on. But you know, pitching is all about deception, right? Breaking up timing. And if you could do anything that gives you an edge, whether it's turn your back, change your deliveries, drop down sidearm, pause.
I was just looking at Mike Maddox wondering what's there to coach here.
I wonder if when does he decide when he comes set, okay, this is going to be a pause, or does he just start his delivery and it kind of happens along the way? I like the pause. The pause would mess up most hitters, you feel like, because I'm striding and he's still pausing. Yeah.
0-2. Tried to buzz the inside corner with his 90 heater. Didn't miss by much.
The glove turn thing's cool too.
Boy, he got jammed at Prado. Here's Rendon over to Zimmerman. 2 outs for Oliver Perez here. 7th inning.
You want to see the Stars of tomorrow, just 30 minutes away from Nats Park if there's no traffic. The Potomac Nationals are back in town April 26th through May 1st. To purchase your tickets, call the number on your screen or go to the website at the bottom of the screen. Making me want to do the wind-up up here.
Derek Dietrich hit by a pitch, and then he hit a pitch out of here. Now he breaks his bat on that one, and Murphy's waiting on the shift. Oliver Perez. How about Petit and Perez? Taylor, homer last time, leads off.
Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Michael A. Tater last at bat. So a couple of strikeouts, not a problem. Third time up, he goes the other way. Second home run of the year for Taylor. Third RBI. And that's your Miller moment.
360 Nats, 130 Miami. Let's have a look at our Freight Rail Works do-up. What they've done in this series. Michael A. Taylor, well, look up. He's got 3 extra base hits now. Anthony Rendon has walked 3 times. He has a couple of hits in the series. And then there's Bryce, who's done as much damage with 2 hits as you can possibly do, other than hitting 2 grand slams. So Derek Dietrich moves over to first base. Martin Prado in after pinch hitting to play third. New pitcher, right-hander Brian Morris.
We see the Arsenal fastball slider. He'll cut the fastball, occasional curveball, occasional change, but really a 3-pitch guy. Fastball averages 93 miles an hour, 7th appearance. League hitting .261 against the Marlins right-hander. 3 home runs given up this year.
1 appearance in the series already. 7th inning with a base hit by Michael A. Taylor here Monday night. Hard breaking ball, swinging a foul tip. So Taylor, career against him. A couple of hits and 5 at bats. Here's the left-hander Craig Breslow. We'll update that now. It's 3 for 6 Taylor against the right-hander Morris. Looking to bunt on a 1-1 pitch. Prado just into the game.
See, I like the base hit bunt, but when you do it with 1 strike, you have to be fine with it. You want it to be fair or foul. You want it to be a perfect bunt. So a lot of times you'll bunt it foul, and now you're battling with 2 strikes.
slider was looking kind of flat sitting up there. Announced crowd of 16,961 at Marlins Park tonight. Wei-Yin Chen, by the way, went 100 pitches, 64 strikes, 7 Ks. Blake Trinan for the Nats, 3 runs on 6 hits. Solid outing. And that's the pitch, Michael A. If he can lay off that, he'll have great success.
Real Muto was crossed up right there. He didn't even come close to catching that. I think Brian Morris saw a different side.
2-2. We're in the 6th inning at Philly. The Mets are trying to win their 4th in a row. They lead 4-3. Nats 3 games up on the New Yorkers. And Washington trying to prove its road record is 6-2.
Mets have hit back-to-back home runs in 3 straight games.
2-2 pitch. Taylor made an offer. Punched out by the rookie umpire at first base.
Well, if Daniel Murphy went, Michael Taylor just screwed himself into the ground with that swing, because
yeah, good call.
I don't think he went, but if you're basing it by what you saw with Daniel Murphy, I mean, that's questionable as well.
I'd say between appeals and challenges, it's not been a good week. Rendon 0 for 2 with a walk and a run. Anthony 1 for 5 career against Morris. And of course, BRYCE is on deck. That's why they have Breslow warming. Miami trying to keep this a 2-run game. They still have 6 outs with which to work. And that one, a lot of spin on it. Backs up Prado. Throws out Rendon. Anthony 0 for 3 now, and here's Bryce Harper. And maybe a pitching change coming up.
For every Nats walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Girls on the Run DC. The Nats have drawn 51 walks. That's $25.50. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
And it's not Don Mattingly to the mound.
Juan Nieves, pitching coach, maybe, hey, bounce 4 and we'll go after the right-hander, but he can hurt you too.
Bryce Harper against Brian Morris, 2 for 4 career, both home runs, 3 RBIs.
Okay. All right. Well, Brian Morris would tell you he's due, and Bryce Harper would tell you he owns him, so I don't know. I don't think he's going to throw him a strike. Let's see.
He's bounced 1.
There's 1 bounce. The one thing Bryce won't do, that there's no way to pitch around him because he's not going to bite. He's going to take his walks. There's certain home run hitters that you can get over anxious that'll chase some things in the dirt. I don't know that Bryce Harper's that guy.
Yeah, not anymore. Well, he gave him a strike. Bryce inside out swing, left field line, Prado. That's a foul ball, and the Nats are gone in the top of the 8th. Don Mattingly knew something that none of us did. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals.
3-1 as this one heads into the bottom of the 8th inning. Blake Trinan on for the Nationals. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Blake Trinan has not appeared in this series until right now. So the Nats have their A bullpen at work here. And for Trinan, 5th game of the year, he's already picked up a couple of wins in relief. A 1.93 ERA. Felipe Rivera ready when needed. 4 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run, 4 Ks, 2 walks. JT Realmuto is 0 for 2 career. It's the bottom 3 in the Miami batting order, bottom of the 8th. And Trinan, when he's going well, will have guys pounding the ball into the dirt. Marlins do not have any left-handed bats on the bench. It's a great-looking breaking ball. Didn't get the call.
He started to walk off the mound like he had strike 3. Pretty good pitch. Fastball for Trinan this year has been averaging 94 miles an hour. Slider 86. Last year his fastball averaged 96.3.
He'll get a strike on that front door slider. 1 out, 8th inning. Tomorrow, we've got a matinee for you, 1 o'clock. It'll be Max Scherzer. 0-2, or that's Tom Kohler 0-2. Max is 2-0, and he's 3-1 career against the Miami Marlins. And then Tom Kohler. Bryce Harper doesn't have a scheduled day off tomorrow, does he? Because he has owned Tom Kohler over the years, who's just 3-7 against the Nats. Nats Extra 12:30 will join you here from Marlins Park, 1 o'clock.
I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. So.
Okay.
I'm going to say no.
Bouncing ball, too hot. And past Anthony Rendon. Echeverria with a base hit. His 2nd of the series in 6 at-bats. And they're going to call on the power here of Marcell Ozuna.
Well, the reason I was getting to Blake Trinan's velocity is I think he's better when it's 94 versus 96. He has more movement on his sinker, and he's kind of learned how to throttle back and use that movement in his favor. When it's 96 to 98, it's fun for us to talk about, ooh, that was 99, ooh, that was 100. But the 94 might actually be harder to hit because it's diving and darting all over the place.
Marcell Ozuna career 1 for 7. 1 RBI against Blake Trinan. Gets the strike call low in the zone. Ozuna off to a 200 start, 10 for 50. 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter.
Good stop. Anytime you got a sinker ball guy on, you throw a ball in the dirt and keep that double play in order, it's huge for the catcher to stop it like Wilson Ramos just did.
3-1 Nats. Been that way since the Dietrich 5th inning home run. To his left, Espinosa to Murphy. It's the 3rd Nationals double play of the night.
That's on Wilson Ramos for blocking the pitch before that. I mean, you block a tough pitch, then you get one more with the runner staying on first, you get the 6-4-3 double play. So that's a total team effort.
Nationals baseball on Masson, brought to you by American Standard Heating and Air. It's their all-star sales event with up to $1,100 in instant rebates or 0% APR for 36 months. By Ocean City, Maryland. Let us show you a good time in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. And by your local Kia dealers. Visit DCKiaDealers.com and find out more. Roof closed, beautiful night in Miami.
It's such a team game, and there's little things that help you win ball games. And that block by Wilson Ramos, keeping the double play in order. And hopefully for the Nats, keeping Giancarlo Stanton out of the batter's box in the 9th inning. You never know.
Craig Breslow, first appearance of the series. 7th on the year for the Marlins with a 1.23 ERA. 6 hits and 7 1/3 with 1 run scored. He's walked a couple, struck out 6. Ryan Zimmerman faces him for the first time. Jonathan Papelbon. Zimmerman way out ahead. Over to Prado. Both bullpens have done a nice job so far tonight. Johnny and Phil are in the studio tonight. It's the Nats Extra postgame show presented by WB Mason when we are done with Game 3 here in Miami.
As you look in the stands, I can't do the postgame show. I got to beat traffic. It's going to be tough.
Well, they taught me in broadcasting school that's the producer's decision. And here's Daniel Murphy, who's 2 for 2 against Breslow and goes up hacking.
Well, it's an exciting young bunch here for the Marlins. I'm surprised more people don't come and see. I mean, you get to see Giancarlo Stanton play every day. You got a Gold Glove second baseman that won a batting championship last year.
Yeah.
Gold Glove possibly shortstop. Ichiro Suzuki, Hall of Famer. Christian, I mean, this is a good young team.
I was going to say, I like their left fielder.
This is a team that most cities would love to have.
Murphy trying to drop one, and none of the fielders can get to that. And Daniel Murphy has another multi-hit game, his 8th of the year. Then he's 2 for 4 tonight. Hit them where they ain't.
Well, yeah. And who's sleeping better than Daniel Murphy early in the season? Just another 2-hit game. Just another lousy 2-hit game for Daniel Murphy. I mean, that's just a solid 8 hours sleep every night. No tossing and turning. No thinking about the pitch you should have hit. Just
452, by the way, during his hitting streak, which reached 12 earlier tonight, and nobody has hit in as many
REM sleep for days.
Games in a row. By the way, Murphy has 21 hits already. So he's 21 for 49. Overall batting .429. He gets 2 hits a night. His batting average goes up like 1 point. That one sails upstairs on Breslow. Chris Heisey 0 for 2 against this left-hander. The Nats would love to put another tally or 2 on the board here. Great changeup.
It's kind of got that uneasy, stayed at 3-1 for a long time feel to this game. So to your point, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Trying to add on.
Well, Gordon, Suzuki, and Yelich at least for the Marlins, bottom of the 9th. And then he humps up with 91. 14-mile-an-hour difference between those 2 pitches. And Don Mattingly wants a right-hander for Wilson Ramos. So Breslow gives up a hit, pitches 2/3 of an inning. Gets the strikeout on Chris Heisey. He'll hand the ball to his skipper. The Nats have Wilson Ramos 0 for 3 straight ahead.
So while we were away, Wilson Ramos checking out his Twitter feed in the Nats dugout. See how many likes I got on that, how many retweets. Actually, Major League Baseball allowing tablets in the dugouts this year. He's actually getting a video scouting report and seeing the pitches from Kyle Barraclough right now in the dugout before he walks up to the plate. How the game has changed.
It's
amazing. Rick Shue with a scouting report in his hand, the video of the pitcher he's about to face. All of this new this year as he walks up to the plate. Great stuff, guys. That's actually Wilson in the box the last time he faced him. Good stuff. This is what he did to you. So forget your memory. It's right there.
And I could tell you when that was. He was the leadoff man against Barraclough. In the 9th inning, that's Kyle Barraclough. He bounced out to short in the Nats 6-1 loss.
I just showed it to you. That was the last thing you saw was him hitting it to short.
So
unbelievable.
I saw Rick Shue kind of sweeping his hand. Was he say, hey, hit a double to right center?
Or
maybe he was just swiping on the screen.
He was telling you his fastball jumps at the end. That's the sign for that. Kind of takes off. It's got good late life.
Wilson Ramos 0 for 3. Murphy at first, 2 outs, top of the 9th. Murphy has done some running in the early going, 1 for 2. Nats just haven't had many running opportunities lately. They've been on 6 stolen bases for about a week. Ball skips into the mitt of JT Real Muto. Ramos, home run off the top of the left center field wall last night. And he rocks that one to short. Echeverria on a screamer. The Nats have only stranded 4 runners. Jonathan Papelbon, 3 days after a problem in Philadelphia, tries to get it done here in Miami. Gentlemen, thank you, Johnny. Thank you, Phil. We'll look forward to Nats Extra postgame. Jonathan Papelbon, first blown save of the season Sunday at Philly. He's still 5 out of 6.
Fastball 91, slider 79, split is the out pitch at 85. 6 games, 4.76 ERA, 4 strikeouts versus no walks. And opponents, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, hitting .333.
D. Gordon is the leadoff man. And Gordon career against Papelbon, 1 for 5 with a triple and a base on balls. Gordon tonight 1 for 3 in the series, 2 for 10. Strike, low in the zone, tailing to the outside edge. Rendon on the grass at third. Outfield a bit around to the left with Taylor and Heisey. Bryce Harper playing a pretty straightaway right field. Slaps it left side. Rendon right there. Huge out to start the bottom of the ninth.
I mean, they're all huge because if Suzuki gets on, then you have Yelich who has pop. If Yelich gets on, then you have Stanton who has pop. In a two-run game, they're all big right now.
Max and Kohler tomorrow. That's extra 12:30. First pitch here, 105. Here's Ichiro Suzuki, who's 3 for 10 career against Papelbon with an RBI, pair of walks, 3 strikeouts. He's ahead of his second straight hitter. Yeah, the countdown's on.
Was that 60 in Sharpie on his shirt? Because what's he going to do if he ever gets another hit? How's he get the 60 off?
I don't know. That number's needs to be a lot smaller for the countdown.
He looks like he's seen all of them too.
Ichiro chops one foul. That's strike 2.
I like elevating against Ichiro. He's so good on the off-speed low because he's running out of the box and it's kind of along his bat path. But I think when you're running and hitting, especially this time of his career, higher than high, above the Marlins logo, above the Miami on his shirt.
Out of play. And a 1-2.
You know, with 2 strikes, he likes to serve it to left as he's running out of there, and it's tough to do that on a high strike, maybe even out of the strike zone high, because he can't get on top. Fly ball is the best he can do with that pitch. Trying to get it up there, I think.
Peppering the strike zone. Ichiro peppers the lower deck left side. Up the middle. Espinosa to his left. Danny's got it. Quick release, 2 outs. 4 for 7 is Christian Yelich's career against Papelbon, and that's the matchup it comes down to here. 2 outs in the ninth.
His job is to get on for the big man on deck.
Yelich tonight 1 for 2, a walk, a single.
Take it all the way.
very close to the inside edge. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, well, with the slider, and you saw the body language, he wanted the call. Where did pitch track have it? Looked good to me.
Most of the ball inside the box. And a 2-1. Stanton will bat on a base hit by Yelich.
I'm telling you what, even though you get the winning run to the plate, Martin Prado, I'm not taking a chance with this guy. You know, it goes against the book, it goes against what you're supposed to do, but you have a guy that can tie the game with 1 swing right here. A guy with arguably the most pop in the National League. And they got Martin Prado, who's a solid baseball player that, you know, hey, he can hit the ball, but he's not known for the long ball. And you just back up on defense, you play no doubles, and you hope you get Prado out. I'm not taking a chance right here. We'll see what happens.
Giancarlo Stanton 4 for 12 career against Papelbon with 1 RBI, 4 strikeouts. Time given briefly as Ryan Zimmerman moves behind the runner at first. Just right behind him at the moment. Oh my, 93 up, and Stanton had quite a rip.
That'll get your heartbeat going. 3 guys on the left side.
Able to stop, it's 1-1.
Papelbon wondering what the call was. He's looking around to see if he went. There's times to get macho and there's times to be smart. Let's see what happens.
Maybe getting away with 91 after he got away with 93.
Hey, going after him. What do I know?
There was a little reach back by Ramos there. Wilson wanted that ball further outside. And it comes down to 2 strikes here in the 9th.
Gonna split him right here, you'd think, in the dirt.
Goes with the fastball. The game is over. Jonathan Papelbon, his 6th of the year, and he had to do it the hard way.
Well, good for him. And like I said, go right after him and end the game on a strikeout to Giancarlo Stanton. Look at the first 2 strikes. I mean, right down the heart, middle in to a guy with amazing pop, and then Jonathan Papelbon paints right here for strike 3, and Giancarlo Stanton strikes out for the 3rd time. Go right after him.
The Nats have earned at least a split in the series. And they'll go for a 3 out of 4 tomorrow behind Max Scherzer. What a ball game. 2 hours and 33 minutes. Timely hitting. A homer by Michael A. Taylor. Petit gets the win. And the bullpen pitched 7 innings tonight and gave up 1 run on just 4 hits. We'll join you tomorrow, 12:30. This has been a presentation of Masson. Johnny and Phil straight ahead from Miami. See you later.